Alrighty, I keep doing that shit. Good evening, everyone. This is Hajim Zero here, back with another quick movie review, and this one's one of my favorites. Even a remake. Even as a remake, I should say. And it was funny because someone had criticized the movie a little bit, pretty much saying, well, the one bad criticism was they said about the effects in this movie, which to me really weren't that bad. So this is the alleged remake of The Thing, but it's not technically a remake. Actually, when I first saw the trailer, that's what I thought it was. I thought, okay, they're modernizing it and they're putting a female lead and all this, that, and the other. But this one was very, very slick. Even when you see the film, and I think they set it up on purpose so you can watch both movies back to back. And the story itself that take place in the same year as the original one with Kurt Russell. And come to find out, even the one with Kurt Russell in it is a remake. It's in itself. You know, John Carpenter was a fan of those 1950 B horror movies, and I think it was also based on a book, The Thing from the Other World. And all that information I really can't remember if I said in the original review I did of The Thing, like I want to say like a year ago. But and it was and I might reinstate something else of a premise I also stated in that review, but at the same time I'm going to compare it to another movie, and you guys are going to freak out when I compare it to the other movie that I'm thinking of. So this version of The Thing is telling the story of the Norwegian camp before we meet McReady's him and the other characters in the original 83 version. If you remember that beginning piece in that film when they go to the Norwegian camp and they see that super deformed body and the axe on the wall and the guy that slit his throat, this movie tells the pieces of how that actually happened. And it even shows how, it was technically found by accident. And it even shows when it came out of the block of ice. I think that was the first thing McReady and his team had encountered, was a big block of ice where the thing actually came from, and of course the spaceship. But the good thing after watching the Cinefix, the differences between the book and the movie, the book of course gave more emphasis on the alien, that it was a lot more sentient than you would think to be. It was creating pieces of a new ship, and I think it did it even on the in the movie, but I think the technology was making in the movie was kind of watered down. And of course another thing and also in the book, the alien's original plan, it was never to go out and unleash itself in the world. It was going to sit there in the Arctic and wait and to be frozen until another set of people had found it. So, I think it eventually would have ventured out, but when it caught on to the whole sentient thinking a little bit, I really believe that there was some part of the human that was there, but it was overtaken by the alien, similar to Invasion of the Body Snatchers and a little bit of Spider-Man. I don't know why I did that, but a little bit of Spider-Man, the Venom symbiote, how it really expressed true nature of a person, and it was really aggression, but it was really playing with certain people on them being alone, and then that's when the thing had attacked. I hate yawning in my videos so much. I don't know how many times I've said that, but the real fear of the movie to me wasn't just the creature itself. And even before watching this, someone had stated that about Carpenter's work. It was more of how do you know when the evil is in front of you? It goes back to parallel of the Bible with Lucifer a little bit, how he was described as a beautiful angel, but he was a demonic force, that God had kicked out of heaven because he was jealous that, he and the angels bowed down, to us out of grace, and Lucifer wasn't having it. But going back to this, the real fear of the movie, to me, and I even possibly said it in the original one, so I don't really care. And it is going to be a twist of me comparing it to another film. The real fear of the movie is trust. And if you see the movie Get Out, it was playing on the same thing. You know, it wasn't just about the whole race thing. You know, I really saw the real human connection and the underopponents of fear within people. Trust in people. And hold on, somebody just walked in. Okay, hopefully she doesn't interrupt my video, but hopefully you guys can still hear me. Give it a sec. Okay, cool. I'm gonna talk real quickly, but trust is always a fear with anyone, even in like relationships or friendships, or even being thrown in a survival situation like this. Look at The Walking Dead. It's the same thing. You know, people's morals and things turn all the time, and you don't really know if they're really down for you or not. That's why, you know, even to this day, trust is still a big fear of mine, because it's not just the trust of other people. 9 times out of 10, it could be the trust of yourself. You know, you can have that fear of, you know what you're capable of, and you don't want to do it because you actually feel sorry for that person, but you got to look out for your best interests. And, you know, the movie Get Out kind of did it in the same way, but it came at it from a different perspective. You saw how the chick was really, really cool with this guy and tried to really get his guard down the entire time. And in this movie, that's what it kind of happened. It tried to play on people's guards a little bit, and then that's how the thing had easily had consumed people. So, you know, with the movie Get Out, people saw a lot of the race and political stuff behind it, but overall, to me, it was more about trust. It had nothing to do, you know, the race factor was the whole thing of selling the movie, and of course the politics and the sex and religion and all that other stuff, but it really hit that core moment of trust a little bit, you know. But you can take it with a grain of salt. That's how I see the movie The Thing. It is a good creature feature. You know, both movies, they did a good job with effects. Even with the remake, they did a good job with mixing the practical with the visual. I think for that whole alien body morphing thing, they did, when it showed that whole two-faced burnt up body, I think pieces of that was practical and it was digital. When I went up for the good close-up shots and it moving, it was really a mixture of both. But this movie pretty much stars about like 4 or 5 known actors. I cannot remember their names off the top of my head. I just know their faces. I'm going to point out a couple that's on the clip right here. That guy's a known actor. She is, of course. One of the blonde-haired guys is, too. He was in Dumb and Dumber as Lloyd. One of the African guys that passed through, he's also known. He was on Lost, and I think he was on Thor: The Dark World as one of the Dark Elves. The redhead guy with the giant beard, he was on Game of Thrones and Fate of the Furious. So, you know, this was pretty much the starters of the whole movie, even though 2 of them already had a name for himself. But I really like this remake. This is one of the rare remakes that I've seen that actually did a decent job, you know, if you want to really call it a remake. And of course, this is the same studio that did Dawn of the Dead, you know, the remake of that. So, you know, it's very, very rare that remakes are good and also ones that I like, especially in the world of horror. So, you know, that's pretty much all I have to say. Hopefully you guys can hear me because I had to tone it down. But I will see you guys in the next review. Peace.